No hej, witajcie kochani bardzo serdecznie, Szeweral z tej strony. Kolejny odcinek Dragon Age, Veilguard na moim kanale. Zapraszam do oglądania. W ostatnim odcinku... W zasadzie ciężko mówić, co było w ostatnim odcinku, ponieważ kilka ostatnich odcinków to jest zapis streama z pobocznymi zadaniami, które robiliśmy. Ale drodzy państwo, jak wchodzę w dziennik, zobaczcie. Plan minimum zrobiony. Plan minimum zrobiony, więc zostały tylko dwa zadania poboczne, które nie jestem w stanie zrobić z racji postępu fabularnego. Plus, no tutaj jeszcze jest jakieś do wzięcia zadanie, więc tam sobie polecimy. I teraz tak, drodzy państwo. Dawrin na pewno będzie mi potrzebny i będzie mi potrzebna na przykład ktoś wspomagający raczej nie, ale może to o pan kolega, proszę. Dwójka osób, która no dosyć mocno można nazwać ich mele postaciami, bo to są mele postacie, nie?
The field hospital. How is it doing?
They need more bandages, blankets, and herbs for poultices.
I will lean on the merchant princes to loosen their purse strings.
Rook, Viago, and I are visiting the new memorial for those we've recently lost.
I understand the Mournwatch is always interested in these proceedings. You are welcome to join us.
I would be honored to pay respects to your dead.
To jest akurat fajne. I zrobimy to. Natomiast jeszcze jedno, zapomniałem wam to pokazać. Biblioteka i to było wiadomości od tego. Więc tak, było kilka wiadomości, znaczy jedno. Pożegnanie z krukiem. Jedna wiadomość, którą na streamie wam nie pokazałem, bo dopiero skapnąłem się po zakończeniu streama, że ta wiadomość do mnie doszła, czyli pożegnanie z krukiem. Pomnik, który ustawiliśmy w pobliżu diamentu, odwiedziło już wiele kruków. Być może pokój między naszymi rodami mógłby potrwać dłużej niż do pozbycia się Antaamów. Już słyszę, jak Viago parska śmiechem. Częs pochodził z Orlej, a jego ludzie już przyszli oddać mu cześć. Oni również ci dziękują. Dzięki twojej pomocy Częs nie splamił nazwiska Candide, a to na pewno wiele dla niego znaczyło. Trzymaj się, Teja. No. Także tak to wygląda. Drogi widzu, jeżeli jesteś po raz pierwszy i wytrwałeś do tego momentu na tym filmie i ciekawi cię, gdzie są pozostałe. Coś mamy? Nie mamy. Gdzie jest ten cholerny ten? I jeżeli interesuje cię, gdzie jest a to w dokach. Dobra, ja mam w dokach. Okej. To już wiem, o co chodzi. Nieważne, tak. Jeżeli interesuje cię na przykład jak wyglądają poboczne questy, to oczywiście zapraszam do zapisów streama, które są dostępne w playliście z Dragon Age'a. A żeby... masz dwie opcje, no albo sobie na głównej stronie mojego kanału wyszukujesz Dragon Age playlista, tam sobie wchodzisz i masz teoretycznie wszystkie i w praktyce wszystkie filmy w jednym miejscu, albo w prawym, nie wiem jak to jest na telefonie, ale powinno być, czekaj, spotkaj się z krukami.
We are not here to be formal. There have been enough funerals.
Did you know? I was just turning to say something to Air the other day. Before I remembered, she was no longer there.
Fletcher.
I didn't know Chance for long, but he seemed like a good man.
Terrible taste in furniture. He always smothered everything in gold. I'll miss hearing him complaining that I complain about it.
The diamond, the entire city feels so empty. I wonder if it will ever not feel that way.
Twoja pomoc przy odpieraniu plagi sprawiła, że kruki mają teraz czas na żałobę. Wiem, że Treviso wydobrzeje, bogowie za to zapłacą.
I'm only a visitor, but I don't think Treviso will stay down for long.
I'm told we are a charmingly stubborn people.
The Blight, that is the problem. But you did fight it back. If we did it once, we can do it again.
Let's hope there is something in that.
When did you get here?
A while ago, I was reading the letters. Messages for loved ones, prayers to the Maker. A few letters are to people I would have liked to know again.
Kim byli?
Who else did you lose in Treviso? Other crows?
A few. Not all were crows. Some just lived daily lives in the city. Local merchants, people who put out the morning coffee as we headed to bed. After the ossuary, I wanted to walk by and see them again. As if I could return to where I left off.
Ale on musi być wkurzony na nas, nie? Że wybraliśmy Minra coś tam, a nie to miasto.
All these words for the dead. Do you believe anyone or anything sees them?
After I was captured by the Venatori, I would have said no. How could the Maker or any power permit what happened in that place? After all we have seen, I still don't know who, if anyone, hears our cries. But now, I hope they do.
Is there anything else we should say?
I did mention this isn't formal.
But we should do something.
A toast, then. Something we promise the dead we will think about over drinks to come.
No dobra, to mój toast, oczywiście toast, nie? Ale mój toast będzie za nie, zemsta jest złym nie ma złych emocji, ale dobra, no, za samych zmarłych, za przyszłość. Dobra.
Those we lost, they'll never be forgotten.
Never is a long time. But let us try. The crows rule Antiva, and tonight we mourn with her.
Lukanis pochwala. No dobra, siła plus 100 antywiańskie kruki, także spoko, udało się. Jeszcze jakieś zadanie tutaj mam? Jak się odpaliło, kurde. Tam coś jest chyba, tak? Nie, dobra, wydawało mi się. No to dobra, to wchodzę na górę. Wiecie, tu chodzi głównie o to, żeby wziąć to zadanie i żeby ono nie zniknęło mi, nie? Później przynajmniej na streamie nie muszę latać.
There's an interesting letter there, Rook.
Okej. Najdroższy Viago, nie uwierzysz, ale dowiedziałem się czegoś użytecznego o tych prostakach Antaamach. Kiedy będziesz miał wolną chwilę, przyślij mi tu kogoś, albo sam tu przyjdź z Teją. Mam parę nowych eksponatów. Pozdrawiam, mistrzyni Trela.
An art merchant has information on the Antam?
Mistress Trella would not waste our time.
We are stretched thin. Too many compatriots lost to the Blight, or what crawls out of it. Meet with Mistress Trella. Find out what the Antam are up to.
Znaki i zwiastuny. No wszystko fajnie, pięknie, ale to jest Wysłuchaj właścicielki galerii. To jest zadanie poboczne frakcji i regiony, więc nie. Robimy odcienie Plagi z racji tego, że tak jak mówiłem, no tutaj głównie staram się robić zadania wątku fabularnego, żeby później móc eksplorować. Wróć do doków przez rozdroże lub przy użyciu szybkiej podróży. Oczywiście, że szybka podróż będzie najlepszym rozwiązaniem. Tam sobie od razu odblokuję. Mamy dużo pewnie zadań. Odblokuję poboczne questy. No, okazuje się, że mogłem normalnie tutaj się teleportować. Nie musiałbym się stresować, że odpalę ten... No ale dobra. Jest okej, że odpalę questa, nie? Bo ja tutaj nie byłem od momentu, jak mi się pojawiła informacja o tym, że jest tu zadanie do zrobienia. Ty, no dobra, to czekajcie. Nie, na dół tu. Pokaż mi...
Oh, it's a long story.
Long story, tak. Sprzedaj cenne przedmioty. Dobra, dajcie mi wszystko, bo chcę pewne rzeczy tu ogarnąć. Znaczy, dajcie mi wszystko. Dajcie mi chwilkę ZW. Dobra, jeśli chodzi o poziom sklepu, podniosłem o 1 więcej. Mogłem kupić zdobione wytrychy plus 8, to jest pamiątka dla NIF, czyli trafienia krytyczne zdolnością nakładają wychłodzenie, kiedy zabijesz wroga trafieniem krytycznym bla bla bla, bla nakładasz wychłodzenie na wszystkich wrogów i 28% zwiększonego leczenia, także no powiem wam, że może to mi się bardziej spodoba, nie? To mi się bardziej spodoba, detektyw z Minatrusu. No. Także to odblokowałem, plus kupiłem jakieś takie pierdoły typu, drodzy państwo, dla naszego warsztatu do ulepszania pamiątki. Dobra, porozmawiaj z Morrigan. Bo oczywiście dla mnie tutaj nie ma nic nadzwyczajnego, nie? Ja bym powiedział, że bardziej tutaj... O!
Don't touch the treasure.
Bierzemy to. Bierzemy jak najbardziej.
You want your own treasure?
Jeszcze ktoś tutaj coś... Nie, stąd przyszedłem. Tu jeszcze chyba jakiś... Nie ma. Pani koleżanko. Zaraz, poczekaj, wstrzymajcie się. To jest cenny przedmiot, tu nic więcej nie ma.
Where were we again? Okay, Tosh. I can't believe I'm asking this, but what's wrong with Hassan's spore?
They're watery and smell sour. He needs fiber to soak up water and keep his gut clean.
And you know how Griffin's spore should smell because...
I've smelled it in dragons who got injured and couldn't eat right.
Say you're right. What would you give him?
Apples, carrots, sweet potatoes, maybe pumpkin.
Hassan goes for meat and gingerwort truffles. Doesn't matter how hard I try, he doesn't like vegetables.
Nobody likes vegetables. You still gotta eat them.
Dobrze.
Get ready.
Nie wiem na co się get ready, ale... O cholera, przeżyli!
Nice hit, Rook.
Przeżyli! Niemożliwe. Niemożliwe, że to tak się dzieje. Dobra, gdzie jest ta Morrigan? Coś czuję, że lepiej by było, jakbym ja się po prostu tam przeteleportował, ale... O, dobra, jest 20 metrów.
And now a dragon.
Some of these jobs we've
What's
been on.
happening to this city? I heard some people lost their homes.
Smoki już mamy za sobą.
You're not a builder. You're just
Spotkaj się z Morrigan. Dobra, to chyba widzę, że muszę mieć jednak tą. Naszą koleżaneczkę. Harding.
Why did Morgan want to meet in Minrathous? Isn't she helping the Veil Jumpers in Arlathan?
Indeed. But today we have a guest, and she needed the anonymity that only a city provides.
Well, look who it is.
Good to see you, Lace.
Rook, you remember how Varric and I served the Inquisition? Well, this is Inquisitor Llewellyn, the woman who led us all.
Nieprawda! To był inkwizytor Cheveral.
Andaran Artishan. Anathara. I wish we could be meeting without our gods threatening to blight the world.
A blight that spreads wider with each passing heartbeat.
Morrigan and Harding have told me about what you've accomplished since taking over for Varric. You've put together an impressive team, and you've got the best chance, maybe the only chance, to stop Elganan and Gillenane.
Możesz na mnie liczyć, to przez ciebie. Oj nie.
I won't let you down. Don't worry about me. Worry about the people you've recruited and about the people depending on you. I'm asking you to take down a pair of gods. You're not going to be able to do that if you're worried about my approval. But if you listen to your friends and remember the people you're fighting for, you'll get through this.
We've got the makings of a good team, I think. We'll do our best.
And while you do so, Rook, the Inquisitor will do her best to ensure that the rest of the world remains intact. A daunting prospect, given that most of the South is under siege by Darkspawn.
It's that bad?
If not for the Inquisitor, the South would have collapsed completely. She has not been idle while you assembled your team.
No to, czyli teoretycznie dobrze zrobiłem, że nie naskoczyłem na nią, bo...
I thought the gods were mostly active up here. It's really that bad in the south.
Elganon and Gillenane have indeed restricted their activities to the north. But the forces they deployed to the south, the strange new Darkspawn, have spread fear and corruption greater than any blight in history.
We think their goal is to prevent the South from rallying to aid any war effort up here. It's working. The armies of the South have their hands full protecting their own cities. But some friends and I are doing what we can to rally them together. Again, the South is my problem, not yours, Rook. You stop the gods, and I'll make sure the rest of Thedas doesn't fall to the blight.
Wiecie, co jest też dziwne dla mnie i w ogóle tutaj nie klei się tak jakby w całość? Mianowicie inkwizytorka ma tylu przyjaciół, ma tylu przyjaciół, ma gdzieś tam inkwizytorka. Inkwizytor, dobra, no pewnie to jest odbicie lustrzane mojej aktualnej postaci. Natomiast dlaczego ona, mimo że ze szarymi strażnikami się lubi, to nie powie temu głównemu strażnikowi, że jestem spoko, nie? Tylko wszystko na mojej głowie.
The South is in such turmoil. Why come up here just to talk? And how did you get here so fast?
Did you think you were the only one to unlock the secrets of the Illuvians?
Morgan helped the Inquisition use the Illuvians to travel.
While I lack the Dreadwolf's vir of us, I may still scurry between the walls of this world to be where I might do the most good. The Inquisitor asked to meet you, and I thought it might help you to meet her.
Dobra, potrzebuję armii, potrzebuję twoich koneksji, potrzebuję twoich szpiegów. Co ja potrzebuję? Armia. Koneksje, szpiegi.
I've been having trouble getting people in authority to listen to us. If you help with some of your political strength...
My political strength? Tevinter hates me. The Venatori helped make sure of that. And while I have a few friends in the Wardens, their leadership hasn't much cared for me since we clashed at Adamant Fortress.
The Inquisitor did not come all this way to leave you with empty words, however. She brought something no one else could.
A wolf statuette. We've found others like it in the crossroads. Where'd you find yours?
I found it right around the time Solus's ritual failed, when he was pulled into the Fade. We've examined the magic, and it's tied to the veil. To him. Somehow.
Solus is ancient, and his magic is part of him in a way far beyond that of mortals. I suggest you take it to the crossroads and see if something in the lighthouse calls to it. Perhaps it will yield some insight into your new ally.
Solas jest uwięziony, Solas pomaga, dobrze, nie ufam mu. Solas jest uwięziony.
Solus is trapped in the Fade. He's not my biggest concern at the moment.
Solus is trapped in your dreams, and while he cannot match Elganon or Gillenane in strength, he is far more cunning. He is the Dreadwolf. He led a rebellion that lasted centuries. How many times do you think the gods thought him trapped and helpless?
Solus was... important to me. If this statuette helps you understand him, if it uncovers something that... Honestly, I don't know. I wish I did. But this feels like a part of him. And whatever he and I once were, I think... I hope... it might help you.
We should go, Inquisitor. The armies in the south need you.
Right. Harding, stay sharp. You're my eyes in the north.
Always, Inquisitor.
Rook, good luck. If I come across anything else that can help, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
Okej.
We should take a break. Head back to the lighthouse for a bit.
Nowe zadanie, powiew zmian, otwórz dziennik. Dobra, oczywiście, że otwórz dziennik, ale czekaj, ja czegoś nie pamiętam. Jakie starcie z szarymi strażnikami? No dobra, ja mam pamięć słabą, ale czekaj, może i tam było w Inkwizycji coś? A może to nie jest w ogóle nic związane z Inkwizycją? Może... Ja nie wiem, dobra, olewam to. Odkryj, jak użyć statuetki wilka w latarni. Powiew zmian, co to jest? Wróć do latarni. No i fajnie. Pokaż mi, czy ja mam tu jakiś... No tak, mam od groma nieodblokowanych tutaj. O, tu jest w ogóle jakiś kufer. Prosty mechanizm. Zaznacz. Dobrze. Ja sobie to wszystko pozbieram. Tu jest jakieś zadanie. Ale to później. Latarnia. Proszę bardzo.
Rook, just got word. First Warden's calling everyone back to Weishaupt. Everyone except me, seems like. Guess the First Warden didn't like me joining your team.
Calling wardens back from all over Thedas is a big step. Did he give any reason why?
Not exactly, but I've heard rumors of a massive Darkspawn horde on the move. Even hearing there's an archdemon with them.
Pomioty, arcydemon, to na pewno bogowie, musimy ich ostrzec. Jak daleko?
We need to warn the wardens. Let them know what's coming.
Agreed. Rook, if the gods have an archdemon, Warden lore says archdemons only show up during a blight. Doesn't say anything about elven gods. Seems like the rules have changed, and we're going in blind. We need to know what we're up against.
I'll talk to Solus. See if he knows anything about any of this. Make sure the others are ready to move.
Ale to co, całą ekipą pójdę? Dobra, nowe zadanie, oblężenie Weishaupt. No i fantastycznie, przygotuj się na Weishaupt, porozmawiaj z Solasem. Cyk. Wiadomość. Róg. Od inkwizytorki, czy o co chodzi? Bo to fajny taki znacznik. Choć okoliczności, które doprowadziły do naszego spotkania, no tak, nie były raczej w smak ani tobie, ani mnie, cieszę się, że do niego doszło. Oczywiście słyszałam o tobie od Warrika, a Harding wyrażała się i wciąż się wyraża o tobie w superlatywach. Najpoważniejsze świadectwo zaufania otrzymałam jednak od Morrigan. Ona zawsze miała talent do zauważania tych, którzy mogą wzruszyć świat z posad, nawet jeśli sami o tym jeszcze nie wiedzą. To ona zaproponowała, żebyśmy się spotkały i jak zawsze posłuchanie jej rady okazało się wielce rozważną decyzją. Niestety, przesyłam złe wieści. Echa rytuału Solasa i ucieczki bogów rozbrzmiewają na południu, a w powietrzu pachnie wojną. W Orlei odłamowa frakcja szlachty doszła do porozumienia z Venatorii i zaatakowała zarówno królewskie wojska Orlei, jak i graniczne twierdze Ferldenu. Antaamscy korsarze nękają, to fajnie powiedziałem teraz, Antaamscy korsarze nękają statki wypływające z Ostwik, a na odległych południowych pustkowiach znów pojawiła się plaga. W pobliżu ruin Ostagaru zauważono wielkie ilości pomiotów. Powiedziałam ci jednak, byś zostawiła południe mnie. I to podtrzymuję. Przekazuję te wieści nie po to, by prosić o pomoc, lecz by przypomnieć ci, że ty i twoja drużyna nie jesteście sami. Bogowie wzbudzają największe siły zła w Thedas, lecz mieszkańcy kontynentu są niezłomni i zdeterminowani. Zajmij się bogami na północy, a ja się postaram, by południe poradziło sobie samo. A kiedy będzie po wszystkim, napijemy się za zwycięstwo. Stawiam pierwszą kolejkę. Z wyrazami szacunku inkwizytorka. No dobrze. Dlaczego ja mam kodeks tylko na 43%? Przykre to. Dobra, drodzy państwo, porozmawiaj z Solasem. Czy ja chcę porozmawiać z Solasem, czy ja na przykład chcę sprawdzić No nie, O, Harding ma poboczne zadanie. Tak, bierzemy. Pogadamy tutaj. Czekaj, Harding jest tam. Gdzie te skrzynki, kurde, tutaj są? W tej pustce.
Any luck tracking down your mystery friend?
Orzammar has requested I stop harassing their citizens with my talk of dwarven magic.
Pieprzyć ich, samo gadanie to za mało, to rozczarowujące.
Wish we had time to head down there and show them what you can do.
I don't think that would have helped.
But think how satisfying it would be.
Yeah. What's satisfying about being thrown in a Deep Roads prison? Orzammar takes its heritage very seriously.
So, what now?
I was thinking, the voice said look to those closest to the stone. What if she never meant Orzammar?
Eh?
There is another great Tig, the original capital of the dwarves, Kalsharak. It was lost during the First Blight, and its people survived in isolation for hundreds of years. They re-emerged, some 20 years ago?
And you think they're close to the stone?
Orzammar can't help. What have I got to lose?
Co jeśli Orzammar kłamie? Pomówmy o Kalsharok. Dobra, a...
Are you sure Orzammar isn't hiding something?
Pressing them for information would be tricky. I could anger someone important. If Kalsharak doesn't turn out, I can go back to poking at Orzammar. But not before then.
Dobra. A powiedz mi, pogadajmy o tym Kalsharoku.
I'm curious about Kalsharok's isolation.
The dwarves took heavy losses during the First Blight. To stop the Darkspawn from overrunning them, they closed off passages in the Deep Roads. Those that could retreated to Orzammar. Kalsharak was lost. They abandoned the city and its people, sealed them away with the Darkspawn.
O ja pierdziel.
There must have been another way. What they did was monstrous.
Can you imagine being trapped, knowing death was coming?
But they didn't die. The rumors...
That the dwarves of Kalsharak had to change to survive? No one's really sure what that means exactly.
When we find them, you can ask.
Dobra, to co robimy?
How do we get in touch
Idziemy
with these
tam, czy co?
Kalsharok dwarves?
Already working on it. You don't spend 10 years in the Inquisition without making contacts. I should have a meeting set up by the time we're ready to leave.
No dobra, nowe zadanie, kamień oczekiwania. Więc tak, poboczne na pewno wskoczyło. Głębokie ścieżki, lokalizacja Teraz tak, czy mamy jeszcze tutaj kogoś, jakieś zadanko? Nif. Belara nie. Okej, ale czekaj, gdzie te głębokie ścieżki? Tak, odblokowało mi tu coś. Pomóż Harding skontaktować się z Kalsharok. Dobrze. Tedas, w ogóle Tedas, odkryto 59%. No już prawie wszystko mamy. Reputacja, siła sojuszników. No na pewno mamy tam jedną na 3 gwiazdeczki, reszta to jest lipa. Dobra, idziemy. Pustka. Oblężenie Weishaupt. No nic, mamy iść chyba, nie? Tam do tego Weishaupt. Tu Treviso. Tu mamy to zadanko, które tutaj jeszcze tego nie zrobię. Dobra, idziemy. Do naszego Eluvianu. A, dobra, jeszcze najpierw z Solasem muszę pogadać. Luz! Ty, a może... Ulepsz. Co mi to da? Pas leczenia plus 1 i 112 leczenia mi to da. 2 tego... Drogie to. Magiczna laszka. Laska, Boże. To, co to potrzeba? Wyzywać duchów plus 6. Maksymalny poziom plus 8. Ulepszymy chyba to, co? Kiedy masz mało zdrowia. Następne. Wysysa zdrowie przy te... Ty, to jest w sumie fajne. Jakby ten trzeci perk odblokował, nie? Dobra, i tutaj nie mam wystarczającej ilości tego perków. Trudno, no zaczynam to ulepszać. Nie wiem, czy się opłaca, czy się nie opłaca. Sprawdzimy, no. Jeżeli się nie opłaca, to trudno. Dobra, panie kolego, gadamy z Solasem. A tu co jest? Coś aktywowałem.
You cannot do this, Algernon. You swore that we would give up our commands when this horrific war was over.
Our people need our leadership. If you're unwilling, leave.
Our people must rebuild, and we must help unite them.
So, we did not fight for freedom, but to conquer this land and our own.
We fought to win, and now the Evenuris are as gods. I do not answer to Mythal's annoying lapdog.
The people are afraid. They must believe in something.
They need strength.
And wisdom.
They need gods who can protect them.
We are not gods. You will learn that.
Every lapdog hides a wolf inside.
Okay.
That was strange. They were speaking Elven, but I understood it.
I believe we have experienced a memory in each of our native languages.
Not just any memory. One of the Dreadwolves.
And the mages who declared themselves my gods? Well, mine and Davrin's, and Rook's.
Objawienie i rozczarowanie, nie moimi. I magowie, którzy obwołali się moimi bogami. Dobra, moimi Darwin... Aha.
There they are, the elven creators. I used to be jealous of the Dalish elves, because they got to learn all these stories I only barely knew. Now I get to see the truth of it. And it turns out, the truth is awful.
Awful is an understatement. I wish they were monsters. Something grand and terrible. Seeing them like that, they're no better than Tevinter nobles.
But no worse, either. They were people. And people can let you down.
All right. What else can we take from this memory?
Elgranon was hungry for power. Did anything he could to get it, and to hold on to it.
Then Solus, furious at Elganon's installing himself as a despot, started his rebellion.
There's another moving part in this. Mythal. She was keeping the peace.
Mythal and Solus were close. The Inquisition found a temple to Mythal, and there were wolf statues everywhere.
Then she sides with Elgranon over him. A betrayal.
No to mógł się wkurzyć, nie? Rozumiem pobudki Metal. Jego gniew nie dziwi. Nie, no jego gniew nie dziwi.
It sounded like Solus was loyal to Mythal. What did Elganon call him? Mythal's lapdog?
Nie w potępia.
And then she grabs power alongside Elganon instead of standing for her principles. I'd be angry too.
Angry enough to start a rebellion?
That's not how he'd see it. He didn't destroy the world. Elganon did. Solus did what he considered necessary to stop him.
Solus would try to justify what he did, but he'd also blame himself for what happened.
Perhaps these murals aren't simply memories. They're what Solus wishes to forget.
His regrets.
Ma fajną
That means
laskę.
there are a way to learn his weak points.
Why are we worried about Solus? He's trapped.
Right. But the Dreadwolf was the god of trickery. He's looking for a way out. Bet on it.
Meanwhile, keep your eyes open in the crossroads. If there's a way to restore the rest of these murals, Solus would have kept it in his hideaway.
It'd be nice to get inside his head for a change.
Wiecie co, tak zapoznano się z pierwszym wspomnieniem Fenharela. Okej. Tak swoją drogą, to, drodzy państwo, tutaj coś mam na dole.
I was not certain you would come.
You were the one who walked away. I never turn my back when my friend needs me.
The Evanurists seek the magic of the Blight.
Impossible. The Blight is safely sealed away forever.
Though I wish I could believe you, I have sensed the breaking of the wards.
I will investigate your claims. If they forget the danger of the Blight, I will endeavor to remind them.
What if, instead, you left the Evanurists and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle?
Be at peace, love. I will stop them.
As you must. The Blight is our mistake.
No, obwiniał się. Zanim, wiecie co, no zanim po prostu pogadam z Solasem, to muszę to ogarnąć, bo wydaje mi się, że to będą dodatkowe
Did
opcje
Mythal
dialogowe.
call Solus love in that memory?
That's what it sounded like.
So they were doing it.
The elven gods were free with their emotions. They felt things deeply. The way they express things, well, it feels romantic to us, but that wasn't really how it was. Back then, I mean.
Nah, they were doing it.
Nie sądzę, poza tym fuj. Ewidentnie, być może, przejdźmy dalej. Podejrzewam, że jak to dam te fuj, to ona tego nie będzie pochwalać, natomiast większość będzie. No dobra.
Whether they were doing it or not, Solus cared about her. That's what matters.
So the Dreadwolf goes to Mythal. They might be fighting, but they have history.
And he warns her about the other gods using the Blight. That's more important than his rebellion. It's like kingdoms coming together when an archdemon rises.
Mythal didn't think it was possible. She said the Blight was sealed away. There's an old legend about it. Davrin, the one with Andrul's armor? Not sure it matters.
No za chwilę nie pamiętam. Opowiedz nam tę historię.
We're deep in elven lore already. What's the legend say?
Right. Well, Andrul was the goddess of the hunt. She put on armor, magic armor, made us something called the Void, drove her mad.
I remember this one. The other gods were afraid Andrul would turn on them. She was doing all kinds of horrible things, causing plagues. It does sound like the Blight.
Well, it all ends with Mythal fighting Andrul. After, Mythal turned into a dragon.
She what? Why didn't you start with that?
Anyway, she took Andrul's armor away. Then Andrul's madness left, and peace returned.
Intriguing. So it's possible Andrul stumbled onto the magic of the Blight.
And when Andrul went mad, Mythal took it from her and locked it away.
Until someone started using it again.
Okej, czyli Solas czuł się winny. Albo się martwił.
The Blight's one of the only things that really scares Solus. He came to Mythal afraid.
And she took it seriously, too.
So Mythal goes off to investigate what Solus says. Then, what? It's too clean.
Seems plenty messy with them doing it.
But this isn't just a memory. It's something Solus wanted to hide. What's the crime? What did we see here that he feels guilty about?
I think I might know. When the Inquisitor was saving the world from the breach, she met Mythal.
What? Like in a dream?
It was complicated. She helped the Inquisition. There was a magic pond and a dragon.
Nice.
The point is, she also said the other elven gods betrayed her, killed her.
Dwie rzeczy, które chcę wtrącić tutaj w tę rozmowę. Pierwsza, bardzo mi się podoba ten taki zabieg, że Harding leży z nogami na kanapie. To jest taka pierdółka, ale to jak my kojarzymy, znaczy jak ja kojarzę na przykład takie zebrania, że wiecie, wszystko tam narady, takie, dobra, poważna sytuacja, wiadomo, jest jakby nie było, ratujemy świat, ale taka pozycja przekazuje fakt takiego komfortu wśród tych wszystkich tutaj ludzi, nie, że jesteśmy jak jedna wielka rodzina i dzięki temu mogę czuć się komfortowo, przez chwilę odpocząć i jednocześnie uczestniczyć w tej burzy mózgów, nie? Ja to tak odbieram. A druga sprawa, no kurde, zrobili z tej kunarii napaloną nastolatkę, nie? No, pukanie, nie, no to gdyby nie to, że ona nie czuje się dobrze w swoim ciele, to pewnie by, no nie wiem, o kiełbasie non-stop gadała, nie?
Okay, sorry, point of order. If they killed Mythal, how was she still around to help the Inquisition?
Rook, as a fellow watcher, you know there are ways.
I'm not saying she couldn't help from beyond the grave. I'm just asking how.
Elven god magic? She'd spent centuries gathering strength and sharing people's bodies, I think.
If it was a truly benign possession, that speaks to her character.
Obwiniał się, mamy wyjaśnienie.
So there's the shame Solus wanted to erase. He blames himself for Mythal's murder.
Well, it's not just that she died.
What do you mean, Tosh?
It's... Ugh. There was stuff he wanted to tell her, but he waited too long, and then she was dead. He never got to make it right. That twists you up.
That's it. There's our crime.
Doesn't really tell us anything we can use, though.
We know more than we did. That's something.
Then I guess we keep our eyes open if we come across more of these memories.
Okej, czyli tu jest więcej tych wspomnień, tak? No dobra, no to słuchajcie. A pierwsza sprawa, najważniejsza jest taka, że teraz Tash pomogła, wbrew pozorom. Ciekawe, ile jest tych wspomnień.
You dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power!
You will pay the final price for this betrayal.
We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mythal, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after. Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
So he locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were terrible, no question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
It wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elganon and Gillenane are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
So he created the veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yes, to keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
Honestly, it's a little terrifying. I've studied the Fade for years with the Watchers. The idea that the Veil, a fundamental part of our world, was an accident as Solus sprang his trap?
Astonishing. How little we truly know.
And a good reminder not to start spells you don't know how to finish.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solus trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlethan, at least.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape, and turned the Golden City black.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong, Lace?
It's just... The Chant of Light says that the Maker built for them the Golden City, the center of all creation. But if the Golden City was an ancient elven palace, then the Maker didn't build it. The elves did. The Chant of Light is Andraste's visions from the Maker, but it sounds like it's wrong.
You're asking if we just disproved the entire Andrastian faith.
Did we?
O ja pierdzielę, to... Oj, 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 oj. Czy udowodniliśmy? No religia generalnie, no... Każdy ma własne zdanie na temat religii, nie? Ja wciąż wierzę w Stwórcę, nie przejmuj się tym, to nie jest nasz problem. Też wierzę i też mnie to boli. Podziel odczucia i obawy Harding. Oczywiście, że podzielę. Przykro mi to bolesny temat. Wypowiedzcie go... Okej. Nie przedstawiają sobie... O... No to teraz podejrzewam, że ktoś będzie niepocieszony, a ktoś będzie pocieszony, no. Dobra. Podziel odczucia i obawy Harding. Nie przejmuj się tym. Zostawmy pytanie co do Stwórcy. Dobra, lecimy tu.
Lace, I don't think you'll ever fully know whether the Chant of Light is literally true or not. What matters is that, in its better moments, the Chantry encourages people to be kind and help each other.
What do we tell the Chantry about this? Do we tell them about this?
People are already questioning because of Elganon and Gillenane. It hasn't stopped them believing.
I guess people need that comfort. Even if some parts of it aren't totally true.
Dobra.
The Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
The elven gods, the Maker. No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
Doctrine is not the truth. It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
Ah.
Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need killing.
Looks like there are 3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
Bardzo fajna rozkminka. Wzrósł poziom więzi, Emrich. Dobra, to dodajmy sobie te punkty. Skoro już mamy taką możliwość. Tak, teraz panie kolego. Moc zachwiania. Jeśli obrażenia zadawane przez drugie trafienie rosną o 25%, a tu obrażenia od zachwiania plus 100%. O, to by było lepsze. Ostatnie obrzędy. Czy w leczenie pójść? Wydaje mi się, że leczenie. Leczenie, bo... Kurde, no muszę mieć coś tutaj z leczenia, nie? I wypierdzielę po prostu to. 351. Oplatające duchy. Zadaje dużą ilość zachwiania. Tak, oplatające duchy. Więc wymieniamy te oplatające duchy na leczenie. I każdy teraz ma tutaj jakąś możliwość wyleczenia mnie, nie? Dobra. Teraz tak, tu. Kurde, kawa mi się skończyła.
You have so long observed the world. Why not consider joining it?
But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides this talk of taking on a solid form, I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
Delirium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit. I need your wisdom, Solus, to withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elganon. I need you.
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
A może on został po prostu zmanipulowany, no.
This is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
I'd rather go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but... what?
As world-shaking revelations go, finding out we came from spirits is kind of fun.
Really?
Actually, a whole lot of things make more sense now. Like why some magic works differently for elves than everyone else.
And we wouldn't have that magic if not for this.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
A tak, to, no tak, krótkowzroczni ludzie, no to prawda. Nie chcę nikogo krzywdzić, inni mają większe zmartwienia, nikt w to nie uwierzy.
If the world learned about this and it led to attacks against elves...
Elves have enough trouble as it is down in Ferelden.
We
Dokładnie.
have to tell someone, though. Strife and Irulan, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one will believe us.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solus himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solus didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Right. He only agreed after Mythal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solus was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
Okej. Zranili tytanów, kretyni i tak wybuchła wojna. Tworzyli swoje ciała. No to, ale zranili tytanów, no.
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
The first memory we saw, with Elganon seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solus regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mythal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented, if he just told her no.
Then he's got a war on his conscience. Plus, whatever we find next.
Ja pierdzielę, to powiem wam, że to... no tak, no nie ma dobrego wyboru, tak? Zawsze każdy wybór niesie... To jest proste, to jest bardzo proste i to każdy o tym wie. Każdy wybór niesie za sobą jakieś konsekwencje. Mniejsze bądź większe. I tak było też w tym przypadku. Wybrał mniejsze zło, według niego.
Have you created what we need?
With this, the proper ritual will sunder every titan from its spirit. But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger. It is awful.
Czekaj, co?
What we're doing.
And the only way to end this war.
Solus made the weapon that killed the Titans. No, not killed. He cut away their dreams and left them broken and mindless. He passed me in the halls of Skyhold for a year. He made polite conversation, and he knew. He knew what he did.
Dobra, zobaczmy co jest. Żal mi mojego ludu.
Lace, what my people did to yours, that's unforgivable.
You don't need to apologize.
Well, someone should.
Our leaders attacked the Titans for their lyrium. Then, when the war turned against the elves, our leaders did this.
And when the war was over, they enslaved your ancestors. No. Solus, Mythal, and Elgernon are the ones who need to apologize.
To do such a thing. No wonder regret eats away at Solus.
No, it's worse than that. That isn't what Solus regrets. Those severed dreams will be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger.
Mierda.
You can't. That's not possible.
When a warden hears the calling, it's like a song in their mind. Sound familiar to you, Lace?
The song of lyrium. Of the Titans.
We think of the Blight as this monstrous force with no mercy, no compassion. Evil incarnate. Instead, it's a caged animal. Mistreated and imprisoned for centuries. Until all it knows is fear.
Czy możemy naprawić plagę?
If the blight is the Titan's dreams, can we, I don't know, heal it? Bring it back from all that anger?
I'm afraid I have no idea. In theory, it would be possible to restore dreams to the Titans.
You can't set it free before it's healed. You'd have blighted Titans laying waste to the entire world.
The Titans are a problem for later. We have Elgernon and Gillanane to deal with now.
And then I want Solus to look me in the eye and answer for what he did.
Each of these memories has been a deeper regret, and almost all of them involve Mythal.
Only one mural left to uncover by my count. If we find it, we'll see what's worse than this.
Tak teraz, jak słuchałem tego wspomnienia, to może Harding jest wzywana właśnie przez Tytanów. Ta moc kamienia się... Ja pierdzielę.
I knew that you would find me soon enough. You need the power of a god. The strength that I alone still carry.
The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
While the prison is important, it is not the only goal you seek.
Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the elven people? They deserve it.
The elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
Solus killed Mythal? After all that? Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solus woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around and stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
Pięknie. Kochał ją, ale też i obwiniał. Koniecznie musi mieć... I co to oznacza dla nas?
So we've got all the Dreadwolf's deep, dark secrets. Anything we can use?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mythal, the one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
Prawda.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mythal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Elgernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solus thinks he knows what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
Tak. Błądzi, ale nie jest zły. Jest bystry, ale znamy go. Na razie to wystarczy.
That gives us something to start from. Elgernon and Gillenane are the two big problems right now. But when Solus makes his move, we'll be ready.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller, almost to its end.
Almost? How can there be more?
When the mighty fall, their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted. Speak with your visitor. She awaits you in the crossroads.
Kto tam na mnie czeka? Lucanis pochwala, wszyscy pochwalają. Dobra. Dawrin pochwala, nich... Jak pięknie mi tutaj rośnie to przywiązanie do ludzi. Dobra, czekajcie, czy to... Nie to, to. Harding ma zadanie. Ja w pierwszej kolejności pogadam z nią. Mimo że to nie jest coś, co nie musi czekać, ale tak, pogadam z nią, zobaczę co to za zadanie. Ale podejrzewam, że kolejne zadanie towarzysza i związane z tym, co słyszeliśmy tutaj. Jakie chodaki w ogóle.
Hey, Harding.
Oh, Rook, hi. Is there something you need?
To ty chcesz ten. Coś cię gryzie.
Thought you might want someone to talk to.
Oh, Rook. That's sweet. I'm fine. Really.
Really? Okay. Well, we're all here if you...
Never mind. I can't lie. I feel awful.
It's Solus's memory, isn't it?
They stole Titan blood to walk the world like humans. And when the Titans didn't like that, they just took their spirits. Should I be angry or sad? Why aren't I angrier? It's a lot to handle.
Bo masz dobre serduszko.
This might be silly, but I'm sorry for what my gods did.
You're not them. And I'm not really the Titans. But thank you for saying that, Rook. It's strange. I don't hate Solus for this, even though a part of me thinks I should. I don't even want revenge. I just want to talk. As equals. I wonder if he's even capable. Solus was always distant. Guess it's hard to react when a magic rock's talking at you. Anyway, thanks for checking on me. I'll be all right.
I know. You're Lace Harding, child of Titans. You can handle anything.
Oh, shut up.
Harding pochwala. Dobrze, dobrze. Niech dziewczyna wie, że ma w nas wsparcie. Porozmawiać z Solasem. Nie, nie będziemy rozmawiać z Solasem, panie kolego. Nie. Zadanie. Kamień oczekiwania to jest Harding. A, tak, dobra, to. Gdzie ja mam ostatni spoczynek, rzeźby, dzieła sztuki? To nie. Spotkaj się z Morrigan na rozdrożach. Okej. Pyk. Kogo ja tu... To już nieistotne w sumie, kogo potrzebuję, nie? Machnijmy tak i machnijmy tak, no. Ja tam raczej nie będę walczył, nie? Właśnie, bo nie powiedziałem, nie dokończyłem, bo się gdzieś tam zaczęli rozgadywać. Stwierdziłem, że minimum jedno leczenie, w sumie dobra, że jedno leczenie musi być wśród 3 perków praktycznie u każdego członka drużyny, bo bez tego na bardziej wymagających walkach po prostu nie mam szans, nie?
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dreadwolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solus and Mythal?
Mythal?
The 2 gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solus spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait. How do you know exactly what we saw of Solus's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dreadwolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
Magia starożytnych elfów.
The elven gods had access to magic beyond anything we can imagine.
To be sure, but it matters less what they possessed than what they were. You recall that the first elves were spirits, do you not? Mythal was a spirit turned elven. And when her body was struck down, to spirit she returned. Her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries, she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew. Until once again, she was struck down, on this occasion, by Solus. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait. You?
As you say.
You're Mythal? That's why the ambient magic around you is so fractured.
Such a flattering picture you paint of this ancient bond.
What? That was like how Elganon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you, then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remain free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions?
Jasna dupa! Możemy... Czekaj, to nie. Czemu nie jesteś...
So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
Brzmi przerażająco, bardzo dziwnie.
Wow. You woke up to a god floating over you.
'Twas a state between dream and wakefulness where strange things may happen to the spirit. Mythal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me, but I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew. she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mathal's and of those who bore her.
Masakra, dobra ty, ale czekaj chwilę. Czemu nie jesteś...
How can you carry Mathal's soul if you're not an elf?
No właśnie.
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mathal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
No to ma sens. To ma sens.
Oh, of course. Well, there's no reason you couldn't move from elven to human with spiritual transposition.
I wondered if my circumstances might seem less mysterious for an elven watcher of the dead.
It's still rare. I should be taking notes.
Powinnam robić notatki. No to, no, generalnie tak.
You would have met Solus in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mathal's memories. At the time, I thought Solus a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
Ja pierdzielę, ile się dowiedzieliśmy w dzisiejszym odcinku z historii tutaj tego.
Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elganon? Or Solus?
The last time Mathal faced Elganon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solus?
You may recall he murdered Mathal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right.
Powiem wam szczerze, że naprawdę bardzo dużo rzeczy. Dajcie w ogóle znać, jak wy widzicie tą historię, bo co uważacie w ogóle o Solasie, nie? Czy macie jakieś zdanie wyrobione na jego temat?
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mathal.
I am not Mathal in her entirety, but yes. The Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solus?
Och, ty w życiu. A ty?
I should ask you. Mathal knew Solus better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf, were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way, but that. Even had I the power. What has passed between Solus and Mathal? I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
Okej. Stara się pomóc, jest uwięziony, szkoda mi go. To potwór, który nienawidzi sam siebie, jest rozdarty i nie wie o tym. To potwór, który nienawidzi siebie. Biorąc pod uwagę to wszystko, co się o nim dowiedzieliśmy, co ja bym o nim powiedział, no? Nie, tak jak w życiu, no życie nie zawsze jest czarno i białe, tak? Życie ma więcej kolorów i czasem podejmujemy decyzje, których nie chcemy, tak? Czasem odcinamy się od ludzi, których kochamy i czasem krzywdzimy ludzi, których kochamy, ale to jest chyba takie neutralne.
Solus talks a lot about what has to be done, being forced to make hard choices, but it's like he's trying to talk himself into it. I think, deep down, he doesn't entirely believe what he's saying.
'Tis exactly like the old wolf to tie himself into the most intricate knots. 'Tis not malice which made Solus your opponent, but conviction, a belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solus was once beloved of Mathal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face.
Tak.
You may be in a position to determine how it ends, more so than either of you might realize.
I to, tak, z tym bym się zgadzał. Z tym bym się zgadzał. To tak jakby będę gotowa. Być może jest dobre wyjście.
Maybe there's a way we all get what we want.
Do you truly believe such a thing?
Well, maybe at least what we deserve.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry. Solus recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you. Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
Mamy te 5%, które mi brakuje.
Another fragment of Mythal? In addition to the one inside you?
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many, formed when something greater is broken. The first elves were spirits, as you well know, and when a spirit is broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one example.
Dobra. Przeżyj spotkanie. Mnie to pasuje, nie jest przyjazne.
You make it sound like this piece of Mythal is going to attack me.
You know Solus, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years. She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
Nagroda.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful thing. It may give you options against Elganon and Gillenane, or against the Dreadwolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
To jest właśnie to, no, jeżeli jakieś rady o rodzaju duchów.
You would know this aspect of Mythal better than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with fragments of each other.
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanuris, and then by Solus, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries. Each reminds the other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
Coś w tym jest. Cząstka Boga zdecydowanie mogłaby mi pomóc, bo przynajmniej zwiększyłaby moje możliwości bitewne, nie?
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solus is elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Elganon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand, inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose. Where the Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards, Mythal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
Jakieś rady?
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
Thank you for the information, Morrigan.
There is one more thing, if I may. Something whispered not by myself, but Mathal. The elves have learned many of the glories and horrors of ancient Elvenon. Yet your people live in this world now as the old elves never could. Know it as they could not. There is your strength. 'Tis why you shall surpass what came before one day.
Did Mathal see this? Is it a prediction?
A hope. From a mother to her distant children, no less beloved than any before them.
Oj, oj, oj. No dobra, mamy odblokowane te 5% mapy tutaj, żeby zrobić pierwsze 100%. Elegancko. Znajdź cząstkę metal na rozdrożach. Czy ja tu mogę jakoś... Czekaj chwilę, co to tu wygląda? Dobra, chwila, moment. Zapisz grę. Zróbmy to przede wszystkim. I godzina 21. Moi drodzy, kończymy. Wiem, że wypadałoby no jeszcze nie kończyć i dokończyć ten wątek, ale zrobimy to w następnym odcinku, bo i tak godzina 20 to jest wystarczający. Wystarczająca długość, nawet ponad. Mam nadzieję, że się podobało. Jeżeli tak, zostawcie łapeczkę, zostawcie komentarz. Ciekawe, czy ktoś jeszcze jest ze mną tutaj. 92%, przepraszam, dobra, to 95 chyba jest w lesie Arley, tam tym drugim, nie? Tutaj mamy odkryto 92%, czyli to jest te brakujące 8%, które mi się odblokuje. Jedna skrzynka, jedna duża skrzynka i żadnych tych bossów tu nie widzę. No, ciekawe, czy ktoś jeszcze jest ze mną z osób, które gdzieś tam od pierwszego odcinka sobie oglądają tą serię. A może przerzuciliście się na Stalkera 2, a może w ogóle zostawiliście ten kanał, nie wiem. Teoretycznie tam jakieś kilka osób jest z tych powracających widzów, bo nowych widzów jest od groma według statystyk. Czas oglądania tej serii jest wysoki, jak na tą ilość wyświetleń, bo wiadomo, że to nigdy nie jest tak, że macie 20, 200, 2000 wyświetleń i 100% z tych wyświetleń jest, nie wiem, oglądanych, znaczy 100% tych wyświetleń jest w całości, że tak powiem, oglądane, w sensie ten film przez te osoby w całości jest oglądany, ale no rośnie to do góry, rośnie. Tak. Dobra, pozdro, Szeweral. Hej, hej.